Ecocha exclusively offers specialty Taiwan teas with over 25 years of immersion in the Taiwanese tea industry and tea culture. And today we are here tasting a new type of tea. Finally, we are able to introduce a traditional Dongding Oolong tea for the first time. We've had similar types of teas for our tea club editions, but now we're going to be able to offer this in store on an ongoing basis. And I'm going to take a sip before I continue talking. This has cooled down quite a bit. I went ahead and started the brew before starting the video, and to get a head start, I put about a 1 to 15 ratio of leaf to water, 13.5 grams of tea leaves in a 200 milliliter Gaiwan teapot here, and brewed it for roughly 1 minute. This will be the third brew, I believe. And the aroma coming off the leaves on the first brew and second brew was notably fruity. Some kind of, not quite as juicy as peaches, but something like a peach cobbler. There is a pastry factor in there. Very sweet, soft, and complex enough to definitely be of a fruity nature, the aroma coming off of the brewed leaves. My first sip was along the same lines. Fruity, mild, balanced, smooth, not really in-your-face fragrant, just a nice composition of tea. So basically, traditional Dongding Oolong tea means that the tea is well oxidized, probably a medium level of oxidation, and it's left unroasted. That's the traditional part of this, meaning what we are representing in offering this tea, sharing this type of tea, is the pre-commercialized version of tea that was produced in the Dongding or the Lugu Township area before the beginning of the competitions and the standards that started to develop on an ongoing basis over the last 40 years. But our friend who made this tea interruption. I gotta really, I can't help myself but continue to drink this tea. Just a couple more flavor notes while it's in my head. Something like an ale. There's some kind of fermented factor that comes through, or a preserved fruit, but it's not, it's still fresh and it's alive. And it's got a tanginess to it, a slight dry finish to it that just makes the flavors pop, kind of cleans the palate and leaves a refreshing quality in the mouth and all the way through my sinuses, really. So our friend who made this tea is adamant about the fact that his grandfather and even his father, he's 50 years old now, the way they made tea when he was young was like this, and they left it unroasted. Roasting wasn't really a practice upon making the tea. It's something that happens when the tea is left over until the next year and the merchants have a batch of tea that they didn't sell off the previous year, so they start roasting it to freshen up the flavor profile. And then slowly, due to consumer demand and that kind of dynamic, people started wanting this roasted quality in their tea and demanding it. So then it became part of the supply, what people would produce off the bat, so to speak. And that's how the that's how the Lugu Farmers Association developed their flavor profile and quality standard, and how Dongding became known to be a significantly roasted tea. But we think that this should continue to be represented as it is. It's a humble type of tea. It's got all the substance that the roasted teas have. It's just not roasted yet. So we get to kind of taste it in its more pristine state, so to speak, and appreciate the original flavor profile that must be there. It's kind of a prerequisite to making a quality roasted modern Dongding Oolong tea. So the brewed tea is quite bright orangey, golden deep orange, a nice transparent luminescent quality to it. And yeah, like I said, the aromatic profile is fruity with some kind of pastry cobbler kind of aspect to it. And the flavor profile is complex, but it's on the mild side of the spectrum. It's not super pronounced. It's very integrated and very full, but it's more of a soothing quality that comes from this type of tea. Maybe dried fruit would be another way to describe the fruity quality to it. To me personally, it's original tea flavor, and it's got the complexity of an oolong tea. It's not a lightly oxidized oolong, and it's not a black tea at all. It's that mid-range level of oxidation that offers a full profile, literally, and it's complex enough to continue to appreciate on a daily basis. I think this, for me, is a good daily drinker, but it's definitely of the quality to be a specialty tea also. This tea is from our friend's family plot of tea right behind their home and home tea factory. It's probably 25 years old. Qing Xin Oolong plants that he's cultivated himself for most of their lives. And his home is in Fenghuang village, right across a small valley from Dongding mountain, and is one of the three villages that make up the original Dongding source. Jiangyatun is on Dongding mountain, Jiangya village, and then there's Yonglong village and Fenghuang further up the ridge. And the soil here and the climate conditions, but something about the soil quality produces a flavor profile in the leaf that stands apart from the higher elevations that are more popular now, the Shan area very nearby. But there's just something about the overall composition of factors that produces this traditional style tea that makes it pronounced. It's different from the same method of producing this tea. If leaves from Shanxi were used, there would be a difference in the flavor profile as well. So we're really happy to be able to get our friend to commit to offering us this tea finally. It's hard to find. There are people making Hong Shui Oolong, Hong Oolong. This is not those, okay? This is traditionally made oolong from this area and fashioned in a certain way. It's all about the wilting and oxidation and the removal of moisture methods. And that's an art, and it's something that not everyone is proficient at. And our friend, who is a professional tea judge at the Lugu Farmers Association for over 20 years, there's only one person who is his senior in the team of judges, about 180 licensed judges. He's the second oldest because they need to retire by the age of 55 in order to bring new blood in, so to speak, to the competition industry. So he's very experienced. He's been making tea since he's a teenager. He's been a professional tea judge. He offers his factory services. He processes tea for his neighbors, local neighbors, all the time. So it's not like he doesn't have hands-on experience. He continuously has hands-on experience making tea to order, as heavily oxidized as this, but lighter and lighter down to the high mountain tea level of oxidation. So his skills are reputable and reliable. And we have been wanting to source this type of tea, particularly from this village, for many years. And here we are, finally accomplished that task. We're excited and proud to be able to represent this local tradition by offering traditionally made Dongding Oolong tea to you. Please let us know what you think by leaving your comments on our product page or in the comment section below of this video, or our blog post that we will write about this tea. We appreciate hearing your feedback. It's very important to us. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, click that like button, and share this video with anyone that you think might be interested in hearing about this kind of stuff. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.